At first, our encounters were limited to after-school tutoring sessions. I helped him understand the concepts that seemed to elude him, but soon our conversations became more personal, more intimate. Emily. Michael, it seems like you're having trouble with this topic. Do you want me to explain it again? Michael. Yes, please, Ms. Emily. I just can't seem to get it. I knew I was crossing a dangerous line, but it seemed impossible to stop. The attraction between us was palpable, an electricity that surrounded us and pulled us towards each other, despite all the warnings we received in our minds. As the months passed, our relationship intensified. Secret meetings in the school hallways, late-night text messages, knowing glances in class. I was completely involved, immersed in a sea of desire and passion that I had never experienced before. Michael. Emily, I need to see you after class. We need to talk. Emily. Is everything okay, Michael? Of course, we can talk. With time, my attraction to Michael only grew stronger. Every encounter, every smile exchanged in the school hallways only increased the tension between us. I knew I was playing with fire, but I couldn't stay away. Our encounters became more frequent, often beyond school hours. We met in discreet places, away from the prying eyes of other students and teachers. Every moment we spent together was like an escape from reality, a brief moment of happiness amidst the monotony of my daily life. But guilt began to weigh on me like a persistent shadow. I knew I was betraying my husband's trust, jeopardizing my marriage for a forbidden passion. However, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't resist the temptation to be with Michael. Emily. Michael, this isn't right. I'm your teacher, and I'm married. We should end this. Michael. I know, Emily, but I can't help it. I need you. As our relationship progressed, I was consumed by internal conflict. On the one hand, there was the love and security I found by my husband's side, and on the other, the burning passion I felt for Michael. I constantly wondered if it was worth risking everything for the fleeting desire I felt for him. But with each encounter, each stolen moment together, all doubts and concerns vanished, replaced by the overwhelming sensation of being alive. However, guilt began to weigh heavily on me, gnawing at me from the inside. I knew I couldn't continue like this, that sooner or later everything would come to light. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't resist the temptation to be with Michael. One day, when I least expected it, my husband found the text messages we had exchanged with Michael. He confronted me, hurt and disappointed, demanding explanations that I couldn't provide. It was a painful moment of revelation that would change the course of our lives forever. The tears, the accusations, the broken promises. My world crumbled before my eyes as I tried desperately to explain, justify, understand how everything had come to this. Michael, on the other hand, disappeared without a trace, like a shadow in the night. Did he love me? Maybe. But it was more than that. He represented a part of me that I didn't know existed, a part that longed for adventure, excitement, something more than the predictable life I led. In the end, the betrayal left deep scars on us all. John and I struggled to rebuild our relationship, but the shattered trust continued to haunt us. And Michael? Who knows where he went or what he's doing now? But one thing is certain, the experience changed me forever. I learned that even the best intentions can have unforeseen consequences, and that desire often blinds us to the true consequences of our actions. After the devastating revelation, my life took a turn. The following weeks were a whirlwind of emotions, fights, tears, and desperate attempts at reconciliation. John and I found ourselves at a crossroads, trying to decide if our story together had come to an end or if there was still something worth saving. It was a period of deep reflection for me. I faced not only the decisions I had made, but also who I was as a person. What had led me to betray my husband's trust? What did that say about me as a wife, as a woman, as a human being? There were no easy answers. I felt torn between the love I still felt for John and the irresistible attraction I felt for Michael. It was as if I were trapped in an emotional limbo, unable to move forward, and at the same time, unable to turn back. Meanwhile, Michael had completely disappeared from my life. He left school without a trace, as if he had never been there. I wondered what had happened to him, if he was okay, if he still thought of me. but deep down, I knew it was for the best. As the days passed, things began to calm down. John and I worked hard to rebuild our relationship, facing our inner demons and working together to overcome the pain and betrayal. It was a slow and painful process, marked by ups and downs, but also by moments of tenderness and mutual understanding. I found myself struggling with guilt and remorse, constantly wondering if there was something I could have done differently to avoid the whole situation. But in the end, I realized that I couldn't change the past. I could only learn from it and move on. Meanwhile, my professional life was also at stake. The news of my betrayal spread quickly through the school, generating whispers and disapproving looks from my colleagues and students. I felt like I was carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders, trying to hold my head high despite the whirlwind of emotions consuming me inside. However, even in the midst of chaos, I found a glimmer of hope. I discovered that there were still students who believed in me, who saw me as more than just a teacher who had made a serious mistake. They gave me the strength to move forward, to advance and rebuild my life, even when all seemed lost. Over time, I began to have a new perspective on my life and my decisions. I realized that betrayal didn't define who I was as a person, but rather how I chose to face its consequences. John and I grew closer than ever, sharing our fears, hopes, and dreams for the future. We discovered a new depth in our relationship, a connection we had lost long ago. However, Michael's shadow continued to loom over us, a constant reminder of what could have been and what we had almost lost. I wondered if he would be okay, if he had found the peace he was looking for. But deep in my heart, I knew it was time to let him go, to move on with my life and focus on what really mattered, my family and my marriage. As we tried to rebuild our lives, we faced a series of unexpected revelations that shook us to the core. One Sunday afternoon, while tidying up the house, I found a letter hidden in an old drawer. It was from Michael, handwritten on a yellowed piece of paper by time. My heart raced as I read his words, a mixture of regret, sadness, and longing. He wrote about how he regretted disappearing so abruptly from our lives, how he missed the moments we shared together, and how he still thought of me, even after all this time. It was a touching letter, a confession of love and remorse that left me speechless. But what struck me the most was the final revelation. Michael was seriously ill and didn't have much time left to live. Those words hit me like a punch in the gut, a painful reminder of the fragility of life and the power of regret. Suddenly, all my concerns and resentments towards Michael disappeared. I was left with only profound sadness and an irrepressible desire to make amends with him before it was too late. With a heavy heart, I decided to look for Michael, to finally confront our demons from the past and find the redemption we so desperately desired. After a long search, I finally found him in a small cafe downtown. His face was pale and haggard, but his eyes still shone with a bright and familiar light. Our reunion was both exciting and painful. We exchanged broken words, confessions of regret and forgiveness. It was a moment of healing and reconciliation, a moment I would never forget. In the end, I realized that Michael was not just a passing infatuation, but an integral part of my journey of self-discovery and personal growth. He helped me understand my own weaknesses and limitations, to confront my fears, and to embrace my true nature. As the days passed, Michael's health deteriorated rapidly. I visited him regularly in the hospital, sharing precious moments together and making peace with the past. It was during these visits that I realized the true meaning of forgiveness and compassion. Despite everything we had been through, Michael remained an important part of my life, a constant reminder of the power of love and redemption.